Hello friends, welcome back to the channel. Today we will evaluate this alcohol space again, and I think three companies have posted the Q1 FY20 Q1 FY26 का रिजल्ट पोस्ट किया है। तो उसमें है अलाइड ब्लेंडर्स, रैडिको खैतान एंड द थर्ड कंपनी आई थिंक जीएम ब्रेवरीज। तो लास्ट जो हमने वीडियो बनाया था उसमें वी हैव सीन दैट I think if I remove this green phone companies which are pure ethanol companies, so Som Distilleries is expected to post a good growth in FY26, which is 22%. Then Tilak Nagar Industries 18%, Allied Blenders 21%, Radico Khaitan 15%, Associated Alcohol 12%, and the remaining companies under 10%. So that was the scenario. So basically Som Distilleries was leading the race, followed by Allied Blenders, and then Tilak Nagar Industries, and then Radico Khaitan. So last time I think somehow I missed this Radico Khaitan company, but anyways, so it is never late. So let's understand the results of Radico Khaitan, which have by the way posted fantastic results beyond the expectations actually. If you see the sales growth in FY26, FY25 was around 18% for Radico Khaitan, but in Q1 FY26 they come up with a impressive 32% का sales growth, which is really a surprise basically. ये बहुत तगड़ा growth है because of the जबरदस्त volume growth जो इनका आया है, उसकी वजह से यहाँ पे growth है। तो FY26 का expected growth was around 15%, but they did in Q1 around 32%. If you see here, EBITDA growth is around 55%, PAT growth is around 74%. That means they got good actually rationalization of their fixed cost and variable cost, and that's why they are getting this operating leverage in EBITDA and PAT. That means their processes are improving on the verge of the increasing the volume number, which is like 9.72 million. इसमें से I think 3-4 million is the premium and above वाला जो prestige and above वाला जो segment होता है ना, luxury segment, उसमें उसका growth है ये, और remaining is mass actually. So if you see the overall volume growth, it is around 37%, but इसमें इसमें अगर हम लोग IMF, which is India made foreign liquor, जो इनके जो brands जैसे रामपुर, संगम, and there is they introduce some new premium brands like Kashmir based luxury vodka, I think saffron, and there is another flavor also into it. Then Royal Ranthambore and Morpheus luxury whiskey. So these are all premium products, luxury products. In इसमें almost 40% का volume growth आया है. So that is impressive. Now the story is this premiumization trend is there across the industry. And if you see in all these companies, if you see in FY22, FY23, and FY24, the contribution of premium products in their revenue, it was less. But in Q1 and in let's say in from Q4 FY25 से ना, so premium products का revenue has been increased, contribution has been increased, and also the realization of the premium products per case is also kind of increased. So in Allied Blenders का जो कॉन कॉल था, तो वहां पे they were talking about the realization for across industries. They talked about realization for all the players, and what I note is that many players had a realization of around 600 to 700 rupees per case. But now in Q1 FY26, that realization has gone up by like close to 900 to more than 1,000 for some cases. So that is the story here. That's why we are riding here with a volume as well as value growth. So in case of Radico Khaitan, if you see in Q1 FY26, there is a sharp increase in the volume. uh, उसमें से good percentage has come up with this prestige and above brand, and also there is increase in the volume percentage of mass category of products. So if you see here the EBITDA margin ka story, it's like it moved from 13% to 15%, which is good. PAT margin is like 6.6 to 8.8%, which is good. and EPS growth is around 173%, which is also fantastic. So these are the kind of brands here which I mentioned here. And if you see the growth drivers here, so again, premiumization and favorable states policy. For example, change in the policies of New Delhi, change in the policies of Andhra Pradesh, and then and Karnataka. So these states are actually adding the numbers to the volumes. So that is it about this Radico Khaitan. It looks good because the sales number is very, very, very impressive. So if you see here, if they do that run rate and if they continue that run rate, so expected PAT could be around 500 to 520 crores if they continue this run rate. So we'll have to see that. But assuming that number and the growth percentage of 32%, the forward P comes out to be 70. And this is a growth story like FY25 ka growth 18% or Q1 FY26 में growth is 32%. So you are actually paying very high PE for 32% का growth, but that is justifiable since the growth is coming up from the low base. So that's why the PE seems to be higher, and it seems somehow it seems justified for me at the moment because the growth rate is growth pace of growth rate is increasing. So that is one point. Now if you look at allied blenders, this is also good story. In FY24-25, it grew around only 6%, 5 to 6% का growth था. But in FY26, I think Q4 FY20 4 में उन्होंने अच्छे number post किए, and then expected growth was around 21% based upon their con calls what they did. And but and in Q1 FY26, they did around 22%, which is in line with what is expected, which is 22%. EBITDA growth again 56%, PAT growth triple digit 398%, which is on the verge of this, I think, lower base here for PAT growth. So that is there. So again, here they also got the operating leverage just like Radico Khaitan. Uh, but the base effect was, I think, was here for allied blenders. So if you see the volume number, it is like 8.5 million. उसमें भी है prestige and above category का volume growth is like 50%. So see, again, this story is repeating here for prestige and above, and total overall volume growth is around 17.2%. So in case of volume growth, Radico Khaitan has beaten basically the allied blenders here. For the Radico Khaitan is I think market cap इसका 36,000 करोड़ का market cap है. I think उसमें भी Radico Khaitan बड़ा है, फिर भी उसने beat किया है allied blenders को यहाँ पे. Right, so that is one important point to note. The other point is that EBITDA margin, if you see here, it has grown from 10% to 12%, which is going in a positive direction, and they want to achieve that EBITDA margin of 15%. So here is the story. PAT margin 1.4 to 6%, and EPS growth is impressive 450%. Now, what they are doing is that in order to achieve this EBITDA growth of 15%, they are doing a lot of things here. For example, they are doing backward integration in the on three fronts, like for example extra neutral alcohol का capacity increase करेंगे, and backward integration 100% achieve करना है by FY27. Then malt, जो single malt में लगता है, that malt capacity expansion, and the acquired plant in Aurangabad, which is Chhatrapati Sambhajinagar now, and they are expanding that capacity also. So उसमें भी उनका captive consumption, so ENA का captive consumption is increasing, malt ka captive consumption is increasing, and the PET bottles, which are the bottles which are used to fill this alcohol, they acquired this Rangapur facility in Telangana, which is for manufacturing of this ENA plus this PET bottles. So that is used for captive consumption. तो यहाँ पे ये सब होने से ना उनका margins definitely will go up. That means what they are saying, target of 15% is quite achievable with these things, right? So this is another important point here. Now their number one brand is Officer's Choice Whiskey, which commands, I think, 35% of the market share, and the gross margin for this particular single product is around 40%, which is impressive. They're also expanding the other products like Officer's Choice Blue, Sterling Reserve, and their iconic white whiskey is leading. I think its का volume growth बहुत अच्छा है. So it's another player in that race, and company has launched more than 10 premium brands, and Recently, they launched this Russian branded vodka in the market. So if you see the slide where they mentioned number of brands and per case realization, that is impressive, and it goes up to like, it starts with rupees 800 and it goes up to like I if I remember correctly, it's 3,000 4,000 per case, I guess, for luxury brands basically. So and riding this premiumization wave, this would definitely help company to grow better. So if you see here in terms of the premiumization, as I told you, FY23, FY24, the revenue contribution from the premium products was around 25%. Now it has gone to 46% in terms of the volume. So that is impressive here. Realization, I already told, backward integration with the ENA is it's covered, and the growth momentum is coming from the states like Andhra Pradesh and North India. So if I have to sum up, then valuation, if you see here with the current run rate, the PAT is expected to be 225 crores to 240 crores with growth rate of around 22%, and the forward P comes out to be 61. Again here you are paying high P for the 22% ka growth engine, which is again kind of justified in this particular setup. Why? Because company is growing from previous historical growth of 6% se grow karta tha. Now it has started growing at 22%. So definitely traction has built up here in both these companies, looking good basically. But the valuation or are for both the companies are on higher side. So that is the only one concern here. That's it. So this is all about these two companies. Other third company, I don't have anything to talk here more, because GM Breweries grew at almost around 3-4% in FY25. Uh, so FY26 expected. I don't know what is expectation here, because company don't do con call. And if you see the Q1 FY26 growth, it is like 6.8%, which is very very low as compared to these companies. Again, EBITDA growth is fat, PAT growth is flat. In fact, EBITDA margin has declined from 21% to 19% year on year, and there is no EPS growth. So nothing to talk about this company. So this is all about Radico Khaitan and Allied Blender. I'm more interested right now in two companies, that is Som Distilleries and Tilak Nagar Industries. Let's say how these companies post result, because their expected growth was like 22% and 18% respectively. But since these two companies like Radico Khaitan and Allied Blender have come up with the solid performance, I believe Som and the other company Tilak Nagar Industries could do well. And if they do well beyond expected performance, then perhaps the traction will also build in those companies. So right now these two companies are doing good. So this is all about today's video. So thank you very much for watching this video. uh, m- Multiple fantastic results have come up. I'll cover some of the IT companies in the next video, and also some solar companies. And I think today Taril ka result aane wala hai. So Taril Hind Rectifier will compare. So thank you so much for watching this video. I'll see you in the next video. Thank you so much.